cannot change is production capacity. Okay, in the short run, some of the factors of production must be used in a fixed amount, such as the machineries, equipments, labors. Okay, because in the short run, the firm cannot increase or decrease the number of machineries, equipments, and factories, and numbers of labors, and so on. These factors cannot be changed immediately. These factors cannot be changed immediately. So when the market price changes, okay. So long run is the time period that the firm can change its production capacity. In the long run, every production factor can be changed when the market price changes. Or, for example, the increase in the price of output is incentive to increase the production skills. In order to do that, the firm can erect more equipment, employ more laborers, and invest more factories. Okay. The last content, so we study the market price. Okay, when the market price changes, the demand change, and so it makes the supply change. But would like to increase or decrease the amount, the quantity supplies. They have to erect more equipments and employ more laborers, or decrease the number of equipment and number of factories and number of laborers. Okay, so in the short run, the firm cannot do so, but in the long run, the firm can change every production factors, to respond to the demand. The demand, the increase in demand, or decrease in demands. So that is a difference between the short run and long runs. And from the difference between short run and long run, so the cost in short run is different from the cost in long run. First, we analyze the short run cost. First, we have to understand the total cost. In the short run, we have the total cost denoted as a TC. Total costs are the expenses incurred in producing goods or service during the period. Total cost includes total fixed cost and total variable cost. In order to measure the change in total cost, we use the short run cost function. The short run cost function is defined as the minimum cost to produce a given levels of output, only adjusting the variable factors of production. That is the total cost. The total cost includes the total fixed cost. Fixed cost, that means chi phí cố định, hoặc là chi phí bất biến, fixed cost, and variable cost, that means chi phí biến đổi, hoặc là chi phí khả biến. Okay, total cost includes the fixed cost and variable cost. And we have the short run cost function. Short run cost function is defined as the minimum cost to produce a given levels of output, only adjusting the variable factors of production. Okay, in the short run, there are the fixed factors and variable factors of production. Okay, so in short run, the firm can change or can adjust the variable factors to produce products. Okay, so they can make the production. They can make production with the minimum cost. So we have the cost function, short-run cost function as DC equal as a function of total fixed cost plus total variable cost. Okay, and total fixed cost is unchanged, and total variable cost is varies. It varies. Okay. Yeah. Total variable cost. Total variable costs vary with the quantity produced in the period. With the quantity produced in the periods. For example, is material cost, fuel cost, and so on. The total variable cost is a function with respect to quantity produced in the periods. Okay, DVC is the functions of quantity of output. Quantity of output. Now, total fixed cost, TFC, total fixed cost, our costs do not vary with the quantity produced in the period. For example, depreciation, overhead costs, rents, and so on. Okay, depreciation, you know, depreciation means khấu hao tài sản. Okay, depreciation, khấu hao tài sản. Overhead cost, that means chi phí quản lý. Okay, rent, for example, the firm have to rent some areas or some house or some warehouse, so they have paid rent cost of rent. Okay, it's a fixed cost, and here variable costs includes material cost, fuel cost, and labor cost, and so on. Because when if in the Paris, if they would like to produce more products, they have to consume more material and more fuel and so on. That is a variable cost. Now, here we have the average variable cost function. Average variable cost function. Because the variable costs change according to the quantity of output, so we have the average variable cost function. Yeah, AVC equal TVC divided by Q. Okay, it's a function of quantity of output. Average variable cost function measures the variable cost per units of output. Variable cost per units of output. Average variable cost curve here. Average variable cost curve here. Okay, ABC. Average variable cost curve may be horizontal, but it is often a curve that slopes down in initial state and then slopes up on the right. Okay, slope down in initial state, slope down in initial state, and then slope up on the right. That is the shapes of every variable cost curve. Okay. Now, here is the average fixed cost function. Average fixed cost function. Average fixed cost function is total fixed cost divided by quantity of output. Average fixed cost function measures the fixed cost per unit of output. Average fixed cost decrease as output is increased. Okay. Average fixed cost decrease when the output increase. Okay, because the total fixed cost is unchanged. Okay. When quantity of output is zero, the average fixed cost is infinite. As the quantity of outputs increase, the average fixed cost decrease towards zero. Okay, that is and here is average fixed cost curve. Average fixed cost curve. And now we have the average cost function, AC. Average cost function. Average cost function, AC. Average cost function measures the cost per unit of output. Measure the cost per unit of outputs. AC equal DC divided by quantity of output. Okay. Average cost curve. Average cost curve is the sums of the average fixed cost curves and the average variable cost curve. Okay. The average cost curve has a U shape because the average fixed cost curves slope down and the average variable cost curves slope up. Okay. That is the average cost curve. Đường chi phí bình quân. Here is the shapes of the average cost curve, denoted as AC. AC. It has a U shape. It has a U shapes because the average fixed cost curves slope down and the average variable cost curve slope up. So we have the U shapes of average cost curve. Okay, now we study another very important definitions of cost. That is marginal cost. Marginal cost is not MC. MC, marginal cost curve. It is a function. It is function. Marginal cost function measures the change in total cost. Measure the change in total cost for a given change in output. That is, at any given level of output Q, we can ask how cost will change if we change output by some amounts of delta Q. We have the formula MC equal delta DC divided by delta Q. If we have the production cost function, we can find the marginal cost function by taking differentiations of the production cost function with respect to quantity of output. The marginal cost is the change in total cost when it's a change in total cost when the firm produces one more units of output. When the firm produces one more units of output, how much does the total cost increase because the total cost depend on the quantity of output. Okay, when the firm produce, when the quantity of output increase, the total cost increase. Okay, when the quantity of output increase, so total cost increase. So if the firm produce one more units of output, how much does total cost increase? That is the marginal cost. That is marginal cost. Okay, marginal cost. And in the mathematical, if we have the production cost function, if we have the production cost function of the firm, we can find the marginal cost function by taking differentiations of the production cost function with respect to quantity of output. Okay, that means nếu như chúng ta có cái hàm chi phí sản xuất của hãng thì ta có thể tìm ra cái hàm chi phí biên, marginal cost, that means chi phí biên. Chúng ta sẽ có tìm được hàm chi phí biên bằng cách là chúng ta lấy đạo hàm của cái hàm chi phí sản xuất, lấy đạo hàm chi phí sản xuất theo khối lượng sản phẩm, thì chúng ta ra được cái đạo hàm bậc nhất thôi, chúng ta sẽ ra được cái hàm chi phí biên. Rất đơn giản như vậy. Thế còn bản thân chi phí biên ấy, nó là cái gì? Chi phí biên đó là cái tổng chi phí sản xuất tăng thêm bao nhiêu khi mà hãng sản xuất thêm một đơn vị sản lượng. Thì đấy là cái khái niệm của chi phí biên là như vậy, và cái khái niệm cái chi phí biên này nó được sử dụng rất quan trọng trong việc ra cái quyết định sản xuất của hãng. And here we have some samples of marginal cost and average cost. Suppose the firm produces kinds of products, and here is a quantity of output. The first column is a quantity of output. It increased from 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And the second column expresses the total cost, okay, 10, 25, and so on. And from the quantity and the total cost, we can determine the marginal cost here from 0, okay, from 0 units of output. The total cost is 10. 10 is here. That means here 10 is the fixed cost. Okay, fixed cost, because the firm produces 0 units of output. They have to pay 10. The cost of 10 units. Okay, so that is 10 is the fixed cost. And from 0 unit to increase to 1 unit, we have the total cost of 25. Okay, so the marginal cost here is 15. 15 equals 25 minus 10. Okay, is 15. And now the quantity of output increased from 1 to 2 units. The total cost is 36. So the difference between 36 and 25 is 11. 11 is the marginal cost. The quantity of output increased from 2 to 3. The total cost increased to 44, and the difference between 44 and 36. We get the marginal cost is 8. Okay, S. And now look at the last column is average cost. Average cost. It calculated by the total cost. Total cost divides quantity of output. Total cost divided by quantity of output. We get the average cost. Okay. Now here, with the quantity of output is 1 unit. The average cost is 25. 2 units is 36 divided by 2. You get 18. 3 units is 14.7 and so on. And now look at this. Look at average cost and marginal cost. We can say that in this stage, when the quantity of output increased, the marginal cost decreased. Okay, marginal cost decreased, but it is minimum values at the 4 units of output. Okay, and then if we continue to increase the output, the marginal cost increased. Okay, increased. So we can say that the marginal cost curve is U-shaped. Now, average cost is similar. The initial stage, when the quantity of output increase, the average cost decrease. Okay, decrease. It has minimum values at 6 units, and then the average cost increase. Okay, that is the average cost and marginal cost. Now we have here the marginal cost function, hàm chi phí biên, marginal cost function. We often think of delta Q as being 1 unit of output, so that the marginal cost indicates the change in cost if we consider producing 1 more discrete units of output. That means marginal cost is an increase in total cost when we produce 1 more units of output. Okay, and here there are 3 curves here. And vertical axis express the cost, and the horizontal axis is express the quantity of output. And you can see the first curve is the average curve here, average cost curve here, average cost curves. Okay, and the average variable cost curve here, average variable cost curve. Okay, and here marginal cost curve, marginal cost curve. Now, they say that the marginal cost curves pass through the minimum points of the average cost curve. The marginal cost curve lies below the average cost curve in the range to the left of the marginal points of the average cost curve. And the marginal cost curve lies above the average cost curve in the range to the right of the minimum points of average cost curve. Okay? You can see that the marginal cost curve here is through is through the minimum points of average cost curve. And on the left of these points, the marginal cost curves lies below the average cost curve. And on the right of this point, the marginal cost curve lies above the average cost curve. Why that? Why that? Look at this table. Look at this table. The points, the minimum points of average cost curve here, okay, with 6 units. 6 units. Okay, 6 units. And from this point, on the left of this point here, you can see that the marginal cost curve is smaller than the average cost curve. Okay, because marginal cost curve is less than average cost curve, and it pulls the average cost curve slope down. Okay, slope down. Yeah, because the average marginal cost curve is less than average cost curve, and it pulls the average cost curve slope down. Okay, and here this range is on the rise of the minimum points of average cost. We can see that the marginal cost larger than average cost. Okay, marginal cost larger than average cost. Okay, so it pulls the average cost slope up here, because the marginal cost curve is larger than average cost curve. So it makes the average cost slope up. Okay, so the marginal cost is always through the minimum points of average cost. Yeah, that is a short run. Okay, so their conclusion here, the marginal cost curves pass through the minimum points of the average cost curve, and the marginal cost curves lie below the average cost curves in the range to the left of the minimum points of the average cost curve, and the marginal cost curve lies above the average cost curves in the range to the right of the minimum points of average cost curve. That is the short-run cost. Now we study the long-run cost. The long-run cost. What constitutes the long-run depends on the problems we are analyzing. If we are considering the fixed factors to be the size of the plant, the long run will be how long it would take the firm to change the size of its plant. If we are considering the fixed factors to be the contractual obligations to pay salaries, then the long run would be how long it would take the firm to change the size of its workforce. Okay, đây sẽ là cái long run thế nào là dài hạn, thì nó phụ thuộc vào cái quan điểm xem xét và phân tích của chúng ta. Khi mà chúng ta xem xét đến các nhân tố nào được coi là cố định và nhân tố nào được coi là biến đổi trong sản xuất. Ví dụ như là nếu chúng ta coi cái nhà máy, nhân tố sản xuất cả cái nhà máy đó là cái nhân tố cố định, tức là trong một thời gian chúng ta chưa thể thay đổi, làm tăng thêm một dây chuyền sản xuất hay là bớt đi một dây chuyền sản xuất được, thì cái thời gian dài hạn là nó khá dài. Nhưng mà nếu chúng ta xem xét cái nhân tố cố định ấy, nó chỉ là lực lượng lao động thôi chẳng hạn, số lượng lao động thôi chẳng hạn, thì cái long run nó lại không dài lắm, bởi vì là cái thời gian để thay đổi cái số lượng người lao động nó rất là ngắn, nhưng mà thời gian để thay đổi cái quy mô nhà máy thì lại rất là dài. Thế cho nên là ngắn hạn hay là dài hạn là nó cũng rất phụ thuộc vào cái quan điểm khi chúng ta phân tích vấn đề. Ở đây người ta muốn nói như vậy. The long run cost function. The long run cost function is also the minimum cost to produce given levels of output. But the difference between short run cost function and long run cost function is that in the short run there are fixed factors, while in the long run the firm is free to adjust its production factors. So it is important that at any levels of output, the short run cost must be at least as large as the long run cost. Here, a long run cost function is less than or equal to short run cost function. So the short run average cost curve always lies above the long run average cost curve, and they touch at one point. Thus, the long run average cost curve LAC and the short run average cost curve SAC must be tangents at a point. Dù là trong ngắn hạn hay là trong dài hạn thì nhà sản xuất cũng luôn luôn biết cách điều chỉnh việc sử dụng các nhân tố đầu vào để cho cái chi phí của mình là thấp nhất. Vì vậy là trong ngắn hạn chúng ta có tổng chi phí ngắn hạn. Tổng chi phí ngắn hạn thì có chi phí cố định và chi phí biến đổi. Thì chi phí cố định thì không điều chỉnh được, nhưng mà chi phí biến đổi thì điều chỉnh được. Cho nên trong ngắn hạn nhà sản xuất sẽ điều chỉnh cái chi phí biến đổi để làm sao cho là tổng chi phí trong ngắn hạn là ngắn nhất. Cho nên người ta mới nói là tổng chi phí trong ngắn hạn là cái chi phí thấp nhất mà người sản xuất ra một cái mức sản phẩm nhất định ở đó. Đấy. Cái tương tự như vậy trong dài hạn thì người ta nói là có tất cả các nhân tố sản xuất đều có thể điều chỉnh được. Đấy. Cho nên là cái chi phí trong dài hạn cũng là cái chi phí thấp nhất mà để sản xuất ra cái mức sản lượng nào đó. Đấy, đây là khái niệm. Thế thì bởi vì là trong dài hạn nhà sản xuất điều chỉnh được tất cả các nhân tố đầu vào, còn trong ngắn hạn thì nhà sản xuất chỉ điều chỉnh được cái chi phí nhân tố biến đổi thôi, còn không điều chỉnh được nhân tố cố định. Vì vậy cho nên chi phí bình quân trong dài hạn sẽ là luôn luôn thấp hơn hoặc tối đa chỉ là bằng với chi phí bình quân trong ngắn hạn thôi. Đấy, cái công thức này nó nói lên cái điều đó, tức là do cái việc trong dài hạn nhà sản xuất có thể điều chỉnh được tất cả các nhân tố đầu vào để tối thiểu hóa cái chi phí sản xuất. Cho nên chi phí sản xuất bình quân trong dài hạn là luôn luôn thấp hơn hoặc tối đa là chỉ bằng với chi phí sản xuất bình quân trong ngắn hạn thôi. Bởi vì trong ngắn hạn nó có cái phần chi phí cố định, nhà sản xuất không thể điều chỉnh để giảm chi phí được. Đấy, thì đấy là cái khái niệm chỗ này là như vậy. Và từ đó nó ra được cái hình vẽ như thế này. Here's a long run average curve. Long run average cost curves. Okay. And here is the short run average cost curve. short-run average cost curve. For example, for example, the phase factor here is the number of machineries. Okay, the number of machineries. First of all, here the short-run average cost curve number one, according to the one machineries, and here the short-run average cost curve is with two machineries, and here three machinery, and so on. So we have the long-run average cost curve here. In this graphs, we can see that the long-run average cost is less than or equal to short-run average cost curve. So the short-run average cost and the long-run average cost tangents with the short-run average cost at a point, okay, at a point. Yeah. The short-run average cost curve always lies above the long-run average cost curve, and they touch at one point. Okay, they touch at one point. Thus the long-run average cost curve and the short-run average cost curve must be tangent at a point. Yes, must be tangent at a point. Okay, that's the shapes of long-run average cost curve. Now we study the production decisions in the perfect competitive market. The studies production cost includes the short-run cost and long-run cost. And now we study how does the firm make the decision? How does the firm make decisions in producing? Okay. First, we have to understand the market structures. Market structures. Market structures. Yeah. Based on the three characteristics of market to verify the market structures. The first characteristic is how many buyers and sellers are there in the market. Okay. How many buyers and sellers are there in the market? The number of buyers and sellers activities in the markets. Okay. And the second characteristic is each seller offering a standardized product more or less indistinguishable from that offered by other sellers, or are there significant difference between the products of different firms? Okay. And the last one is, are there any barriers to entries or exits, or can outsiders easily enter and leave this market? Okay. Đây là ba cái đặc điểm mà người ta đặt thành các câu hỏi để dựa vào đây để người ta phân loại cái cấu trúc thị trường. Cái điểm thứ nhất là người ta nói về số người bán và số người mua tham gia ở trên thị trường. Có bao nhiêu người bán, có bao nhiêu người mua tham gia vào thị trường. Đây là câu hỏi thứ nhất, và cái đặc điểm thứ nhất người ta dùng để phân loại cấu trúc thị trường. Cái đặc điểm thứ hai là hàng hóa được sản xuất bởi các hãng tham gia thị trường ấy, là có đồng nhất không, có giống nhau không, hay là có sự khác nhau. Đấy. Hay là hàng hóa chỉ có một người sản xuất được thôi. Đấy, ví dụ như vậy. Thì đây là cái đặc điểm thứ hai. Cái đặc điểm thứ ba đó là có rào cản gì trong việc gia nhập hay rút khỏi thị trường hay không. Có rào cản gì trong việc gia nhập hay rút khỏi thị trường hay không. Đấy. Ba cái đặc điểm này là người ta dùng để phân loại cấu trúc thị trường, và từ đó từ ba cái đặc điểm này người ta phân chia thị trường thành 4 cái cấu trúc, 4 loại. There are 4 kinds of market structure. The first kind is the perfect competition. Perfect competition. Perfect competition. Cạnh tranh hoàn hảo. Perfect competition. Cạnh tranh hoàn hảo. The second is monopoly. Monopoly is or pure monopoly. Monopoly or pure monopoly, tức là độc quyền hoặc là độc quyền thuần túy. Độc quyền hoặc là độc quyền thuần túy. And the third kind is monopolistic competition. Monopolistic competitions, là cạnh tranh có độc quyền. Cạnh tranh có độc quyền. And the last kind is oligopoly. Oligopolies. Đó là độc quyền nhóm. Cartel. Độc quyền nhóm. Okay. And now we concentrate on the study the perfect competition. Perfect competition only. We study the perfect competition only. Okay. Now, characters of the perfect competitive market. Here is the characters of the competitive market. In the perfect competitive markets, there is the 4 characters. We can say that the first character is it is a free entry and exit the market. That means no barriers to entries into markets. Free entry and exit the market at every time or every point of time. And the second character is the firms produce homogeneous products. Firms produce homogeneous products. Okay. And the third character is there are many firms and buyers. There are many firms and buyers in the market, so that no one can influence on the market price. No one can influence on the market price. Okay. And the last character is the perfect information. Perfect information. Every seller and buyer has the perfect knowledge of the market. That is the competitive market. Now, in the perfect competitive market, each firm assumes that the market price is independent of its own levels of output. Thus, each firm only has to worry about how much output it wants to produce. Whatever it produces can only be sold at one's price, the going market price. Okay, because in the perfect competitive markets, the number of firms and consumers is very, very, very large. Okay, so the amounts of goods amongst the goods and service each firm or each firm sells or each seller, each consumer buys is very, very, very small. So anyone can influence on the market price. Okay, no one can influence on the market price. So they have to follow the market price, and we call it the going market price. Okay, the going market price. Now, we study the supply decisions, price ticker, the price ticker, supply decisions of a price ticker. What is a price ticker? Price ticker is a firm. Price ticker is a firm in the perfect competitive market, or it is also called a competitive firm. Competitive firm. In a pure competition environment, there are many firms, and no one can influence on the market price. So every firm has to take market price. What a firm has to worry about is how much output it wants to produce. That is the supply decision. The supply decisions of the firm to maximize its profit. Okay, we set the market price P. The amount of output is Q. Because the firm cannot influence on the price, the revenue of the firm is a function of output. Okay, R equal P times Q. Yes, R is a revenue. It's a revenue firm. Revenue firm. P is market price, and Q is quantity. Okay, so the firm cannot make changing in market price, but they can make changing in quantity of output, because they can produce more or less outputs. Okay, so they send a revenue of a firm. The revenue of the firm is a function of outputs only. Okay, that is the revenue of a competitive firm. And now the cost function. The cost function is DC, is DCQ, and the profit maximization problem. The profit maximization problem facing the competitive firm is max P times Q minus DC. Okay, total revenue, yes, total revenue minus total cost. Okay, total revenues and minus total cost. In this function, when the quantity of output change, the firm can find the quantity of outputs that makes the maximum profit. Okay, maximum profit. That is a maximization problem of a firm. In order to examine the conditions of profit maximization, we use the definitions of marginal revenue. Marginal revenue, doanh thu biên. Marginal revenue, doanh thu biên. Marginal revenue is the change in revenues for a given change of output. Okay, here, marginal revenue is a change in revenue divided change in output. Change in revenue divided change in output. That means the marginal revenue is the increase the increase in revenues when the firm produce one more unit of output. In the competitive market, when the firm produce one more unit of output, then its revenue increase by amount equals price of good. Therefore, the marginal revenue is equal to the market price. Okay, because it's a market, it's a competitive market, perfect competitive market. It's a perfect competitive market. The firm cannot influence on the market price, but they have to follow. Okay, they have to accept or they have to follow the market price. So when the firm sells one more unit, when the firm sells one more unit, the revenue of the firm increases by amounts of equal amounts of market price. Okay, so we say that the marginal revenues of a competitive, perfect competitive market is the market price. Okay. Okay, now we have a sub break. Okay, sub break.
Yes. Okay.
Because of maximizing profits, the firm will decide to produce as the output of Q2, Q3. The total cost is areas of rectangles and the revenue is areas of rectangles. The firm earns a big negative profits of the area. In this situation, the profit is less than zero. You can see the revenue is less than the total variable cost. It's clear that if the price is less than average variable cost, the firm should go out of business. If it produces nothing, it will lose its fixed cost, but it would lose even more if it continue to produce. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. Suppose that the market price is P3. Yeah. It's less than average variable cost. Less than average variable cost. Okay? And according to the condition to maximize profit, the firm choose the level of output at points that marginal cost equal to market price. Okay, so from this point we determines the quantity of output here Q3, and the total revenue is a rectangle P3, A3, Q3, and 0. Okay, it's a total revenue. And here, a rectangle AC3, B3, Q3, and 0 is the total cost. In this situation, the firm has a big negative profit. Okay, here negative profit is the rectangle of AC3, B3, A3, and B3. Now look at the total variable cost. How much is the variable cost here? You can see that the total variable cost is a rectangle of AVC3, M3, Q3, 0. Okay. Now, the total revenue here, this rectangle, and the total variable cost here. You can see that the total variable cost is larger than total revenue. Okay? So, in this situation, if the firm go out of business, that means the firm do not produce any product. They have to pay fixed cost. Okay, they have to pay fixed cost. But if they produce, they have to pay more than fixed cost, because in this situation, the variable cost is larger than total revenue. Okay, so we have the conclusion here. We have the shutdown condition. The shutdown condition. The shutdown condition. The firm should shut down when the average variable cost larger than market price. Okay. Average variable cost larger than market price. That is the condition to shut down business for a competitive market, a competitive firm. Okay. So that is also economics. We study okay. In order to practice the economics parts of the subjects, I will send you homework. Okay, homework 1. Yeah, this homework you have to do at home, and then we will discuss on the class later. Okay, here's homework 1. The practice the price taking firm has a cost function. Here's the cost function of the firm, and there are 6 questions. There are 6 questions for these problems. The first question is what is this firm's marginal cost? That means you have to find the marginal cost function. You have to find the marginal cost function of this firm. And the question 2, what is this firm's average cost? Okay, you have to also find the average cost function. Average cost function. And question 3, does this firm have any fixed cost? Okay, does this firm has any fixed cost? And the question 4, what is this firm's supply function? What is this firm's supply function. Okay, and question 5. Suppose that you observe the last year the price in this market was equal to 10, and this firm produced 10 units of output. This year the price in the market is equal to 15, and this firm produced 20 units of output. If you believe that the firm's production function has not changed between the 2 years, and you know that the input price have also not changed, what values of alpha, what values of alpha and beta would be consistent with these observations of price and quantities? That means from this materials and these functions, you have to find values of alpha and beta, of the firm. And the question 6, use or estimates in the question 5 to predict that what is the firm's supply be if the price rise to 25. Okay, this homework. Please do it at home, and we will discuss in the later class. Okay, and I will send you this homework through the email. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we finished the first part of subject, that is the economics part here, and the next time we study engineering economics. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Today we stop here. Goodbye.
Yeah. See you later. Bye bye.
Okay.
Bye.